Guys, today we are going to be looking at the Leader Class Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus, and here he is. And I'm just going to tell you, we went from mediocre, mid, below average, average, to one of the greats. And here he is. Here he stands. And yeah, this, till now, was my favorite Ultra Magnus, or my best Ultra Magnus. And yeah, we'll just get into it. So, here we have Minimus Ambus. Obviously, he's based off of the IDW continuity and not G1. But here's a little Minimus Ambus in his little car mode. You know, he's just a simple little toy. And, you know, for being little car, he doesn't slide, he's just supposed to hover or something. But for just being a little, basically, extra accessory, he's pretty good. We're going to put him off the side. And here we have Ultra Magnus. And obviously, if you know, they did the Power Master Optimus Prime and Titan's Return, and they based that toy off of this mold. Or they used that mold and just did a lot of heavy retooling to the trailer. You can see that with the cab being exactly the same. So yeah, I don't have the perfect effect upgrade, or upgrades. I just have any upgrades on him. He's completely stock, completely original. So yeah. So his guns, I just peg him on the side right there. You can peg him down here. If you want to, you could peg him right there. So really, you could peg stuff right here, here, here. I think that's it. And I guess if you wanted to, you could just put stuff in there. But, so yeah. This gun, more of like an assault rifle looking one. Because, got a big magazine, got more of a more aggressive look to it. Obviously, the missile pods are more stylized, has two big missiles. It's awfully hollow. I will say this about this toy, it's very hollow. He's very light, but talk about that a bit more. But yeah, it has some nice red on it, and that's really it. We'll put that back on. And this gun, just pretty generic looking gun. So yeah, just put the guns off the side. And yeah, it's all around pretty good. There, pretty good. It's pretty clean. And we're back to the car carrier. Obviously, we are not doing anything else. Obviously, the last two from Prime have been semi-trucks, but not car carriers. But, so, obviously, this car carrier, this is a little difficult to get into because just it's so tight of a tolerance between this and then getting that tab to go over. You just have to flex stuff around. Not like to where it feels like it's going to break, but just something to note. And this ramp is very blunt, so nothing can really get up it. And you just untab these, and this comes down, and that's really blunt. You can still put stuff on it, but not smoothly drive it up, but at least he has the gimmick. And so yeah, all around, it's heavily stylized, obviously. Has the same generic everything that makes him look like Ultra Magnus. You look at him and you're like, hey, that's Ultra Magnus, but everything else is completely different. It's wildly different, but I still like it, still really cool. And I will say, he has the best articulated, cab, I'm pretty sure. Maybe the G1 might beat him, but this cab, if you want it to come off, you have to undo that screw. So yeah. So, let's get into the transformation. So, just gonna take these missile pods off, like so. And before we get into him, we'll just transform Minimus Ambus really quick. So, just fold out the legs, flip them around, split the arms, and then just hinge it around, and we'll talk about him later. So, we'll start with this. So, come to these red pieces, fold these out, fold them out, and now we'll come back here and untab these, swing those all the way around just to get them out of the way. And now we're going to come here, and I just like to split this. I like to fold those down just to get them out of the way, because this is weird. the legs pegged together. You can see with the tabs right there. And then this chest plate goes in with these tabs, and they go inside that hollow bit. Like, you can just see how hollow all this stuff is, and how hollow the feet are, how hollow everything is. But it's still surprisingly strong. Like, he's very light and weighty, like, doesn't have a lot of weight, but he's not weak. But flip this chest plate up just to get out of the way. Swing the legs down right there, and we'll just raise the camera up. Gonna raise it up pretty high, and now we'll disconnect it from there, swing it around, and it'll go right there, I'm pretty sure. Right there. Close that up. Just get everything, well, there. I'll just fold this out first. Now, that should fit, yeah. So, it's being really stubborn. Whatever. So, yeah, that's me personally, that's the only downside to this toy, is that he's kind of hollow, kind of lifeless, because there's no weight to him, but it's fine with me. We'll just bring that up just to get it out of the way, fold that up, and then it will tab in right there, do the same thing, tab in, like so, and now we have the legs all done. And we'll split this and swing it around, and now this will go down, and you can see once again how hollow all this stuff is. We'll swing, oops, you can't see that. I'll just swing this around, and then hinge this up. We have the arms all done, and now you come to the cab and you split it, like hinge it forward, swivel it around, drop it down, and now you compress this slider right here. So, oops. And now we have him all ready. So we can take the rocket pod, put that on his shoulder, take the rocket pod, put it on his shoulder, like so, get his feet all situated so he doesn't fall, and now we can come here, open up this, and now you hinge out the head, and you can leave it like this and close that up, but there's that gap. If you want to, me personally, if I didn't have Minimus Ambus, I wouldn't really care if there was a gap right there. It's not that big a deal if you're going to complain about that. Just, I don't know. But you can see all the little details of where Minimus Ambus will sit. Little control sticks, little, like, foot plates, I guess you could say. The seat, everything. And we'll scoot him back so we can take a look at Minimus Ambus. You can see just how nice the paint is on him. His mustache, his goatee, all the nice green. And obviously we've seen that Autobot symbol. And we'll just put him into a sitting position. I apologize for my dirty hands. But just sit him in there like so. And close that up. And now that covers that up a little bit. And now close that. And here we have Magnus. And he looks awesome. Yeah, he's light. He's pretty hollow. But the plastic is still super tough. Like, it's not super tough, but I've had him ever since he came out, basically. And he hasn't broken. Nothing has ever broken on him. I love his look. He may not be G1, but he still looks awesome. And just the fact that he transforms with the cab like the show. And obviously, as you know, that was probably completely stolen from the Masterpiece. I don't own the Masterpiece. I've always wanted the Masterpiece. I really want the Masterpiece. But this guy is perfect because he is basically the Masterpiece just shrunk down. made way cheaper, more accessible, and has a different style, so I don't really care. Just the fact that he has all of the things that the Masterpiece does. So, the ratchets in the shoulders have severely wore out on mine. The ratchets in here are fine. The ratchets right there are fine. The ratchets right here are fine. The ratchets right there are still perfect. So all of his joints are still nice and stiff. Unfortunately, due to the way the head transforms, it can't look more than that. But that's okay with me. So, the guns. These guns, he has articulated hands. I'll just do one, but they don't fit. They don't have any tabs. It's based off of just friction. So you just set him down or hit him too hard and they just come out. So me personally, these ankles are being super stubborn. Very stubborn. But me personally, I just like to take the guns and put them in the same exact ports that I used in the vehicle mode. So yeah. And obviously you can give him a hammer with all of his guns and weapons. So take this one and we'll do it like this, so he can have like a rough side, like a spiked side, and just a flat side. And then you just put that on, and it has this cutout in the sleeve, I guess, and it will go over this, like, this groove. And there, now you have his hammer, and it's cool. It's cool. I like it. It's still really fun, but I don't know. It's just a cool thing to have, I guess. But this Ultra Magnus was my best and favorite Ultra Magnus. And obviously you can move these out to get more outward movement from the arms. And I still really like it. It still does so much perfectly. Really, the only thing you could ask for is maybe being in G1 style, being a bit heavier, like just the feel of it. Like, as I said, I haven't had any sort of breakage or anything on this toy, especially with being so hollow and thin. I've never run into anything like that. And I have transformed this toy multiple times. I've transformed him a gazillion times. Like, I've done it a bunch. I've played with it a bunch. This was my definitive Magnus forever and ever and ever. And, he still is. You know, we'll talk about that later on throughout the series, but he still is one of my favorite toys. And still one of the best toys that I own. Like, genuinely good, and there's a reason why I like it. It's the definitive version of the IDW Ultra Magnus, the definitive version of Magnus himself. He's just a very good toy. And especially with the fact that the Studio Series is out, I guarantee a lot of people are probably going to be selling theirs off. So if you have the opportunity, I would highly suggest getting this, or at least the Power of the Primes, or the Japanese God Jinrai version. Or even, there are three versions of this mold. There is this one, the Takara Legends, the like premium, the 30th anniversary with the box set or something. Just, there are multiple versions of this toy. I also like the fact that he, same thing as like I said with the Voyager Prime Ultra Magnus, is he has this lighter blue. It's not dark like the cartoon. And, you know, it just fits to the G1 toy. And I really like it. I love the paint. I love the amount of paint. There's just enough to make him pop, and just enough to make him feel nice, but not like premium or something. Just, he's a perfect toy. I really like it. He's very simplistic. He's very fun. He has guns he has guns. He has the hammer. He has the rocket pods. He has everything. I really like this toy. And you know, the only thing that I could wish for is a waist swivel and ankle joint. And, maybe a little bit more heft. Just for the feel of him, you know, even though he still is pretty heavy, And even though he is light, he is different. Like, he doesn't have too many gimmicks. Just that he still feels like a leader with, at this time. And still now he still feels like a leader. And the fact with Minimus Amos being just a nice little pocket toy, you know, you don't just get a big, huge toy that you can play with at home. You get a teeny tiny little pocket toy you can just throw in your pocket and play with whenever you want to. You know, this toy does a lot of things right, and his strengths most certainly outweigh his weaknesses. And I'm very glad that I got to experience this toy for so long, because it's just a joy to have, and I love it, and I'm seeing its praises. And you know, this is the one that I truly can say that there's an actual reason why I like it, and not just because, oh, I grew up with it. You know, I grew up with it too, but he's a genuinely good toy, and probably the best version of Ultra Magnus you could get, especially if you love IDW and you're trying to have an IDW collection. He is definitely probably the best option you could go with. I think there are some third-party toys out there, but if you want one that is good, solid, and probably not too much money, I don't know how much he goes for, but he's not even compared to some of the Magnuses that we've looked at for good quality and complete. And just, I love this toy. It is just awesome. Just a lovely, lovely, lovely toy. And yeah, it's just awesome, 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 awesome. And I highly recommend you guys getting it, or any other version of it, or the Power Master Prime or God Jinrai. Yeah, I just really like this toy, and just go get it. I really like it. So yeah, and it's just like the whole the MP01 thing to me is that, you know, the Masterpiece came first, and they're like, yeah, this is an awesome toy. It's the definitive version of Ultra Magnus. And then a couple years went by, and they came out with this toy, kind of like the MP10, refined it, made it more accessible and awesome. And then, we're not going to talk about MP44, but you can tell that this thing was so successful because it had the bones and the skeleton of the Masterpiece behind it. But it changed enough with its styling and taking a couple things out to cut costs to make it feel different and exciting. And that's something that I really like about this toy, is that it takes the things that made the Masterpiece good and builds upon it and makes it potentially better. And I just really like it. I love his style. I love everything this toy stands for and means, and just the fact that he's an all-around good toy. And so yeah, that's really all I have to say. So till next time, see ya.